off your knees, girl. Get up. Stand face to face with your God, oh God, and find out what you are. Hello, my name is Human. Hello, my name is Human, and I came down from the stars. Hello, my name is Human.
Welcome to the My Name is Human, Earth2.io podcast, brought to you by MyNameIsHumanPod.com. My name is Human Hazy.
My name is Human Snoke.
TechOps!
It's Human TechOps. Hey, what's up, guys?
What up? I always wanted to do that, so I had to throw it in there once.
All right. Hazy!
Yeah. So, welcome to the pod, TechOps. We're excited to have you here. We do thank you for taking your time right before you stream tonight on the Guidebook Gaming Show. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into Earth2.io.
Oh, okay. Well, I have the standard story that goes around. I was watching TikTok. I think I was on hour 8 of sitting in my garage.
Wait a minute. Old farts watch TikTok?
Oh, yeah. They tell us we're not supposed to be on there, but man, I'm addicted. I can't stop.
Right? It's so much fun.
Well, now, Snoke, you're not considered an old fart, are you? Because,
Nah, he's a baby.
yeah. Snoke has the best TikToks. I've seen his TikToks constantly come across my screen. I'm like, man, he knows how to do these. He's good.
Yeah, he's been slacking this week. He's been sick.
Yeah.
Oh. No, I've been saving off different sounds and music and whatnot to start doing some more. I've got a bunch in my drafts, but I don't know if I want to release them. They're kind of
You gotta start doing it. Just start doing it and let it go.
So you were watching the teenies on TikTok and you saw this Earth2.io thing. What did you think?
So at the time, there was a lot of different crypto and stuff going around TikTok. And in December, I had thrown like $400 into crypto and was like, I'm super proud of myself. And then, of course, they get the Earth2 TikTok going on. And, the first time I saw it, I jumped in there and I looked and I'm like, okay, US tiles are sitting at like $2. And then I kind of forgot about it for 2 days. And then luckily another TikTok popped up and it was like, hey, dummy. And I went back in and I was like, ooh, US tiles are at $4.40. I can see where this is going. Let me go ahead and get in this thing and start throwing money at it. So that's how I got into it.
And so you've thrown a bit of money at it. What kind of got you into going full bore like you have?
Ooh, okay. I'm not sure that once I got started, I really stopped. I have a few TikToks that show my general progression of money spent and the land value increase that's going on there. And it's pretty consistent. You just see it keep going. But there was a time where, I was just hanging out with Nameless and, I wasn't really super sure about, all the purchases that I was making. My initial ones were just in Arizona. And it was like, okay, well, I know the casinos, so I'll buy those. Those have got to have good foot traffic and whatnot. It took a while for me to meet some other people, see what the strategies were, and then go ahead and start participating in those. But I think there was a night, and when I say night, it was like 2, 3 a.m. Nameless and I are just sitting there in a voice chat in Discord, and we're clicking tiles and buying stuff. And he's like explaining what he feels this is and how he feels, the strategy should go. And at one point, and it took me a long time. It took me hours of him explaining to me what he saw as a vision for Earth2. But eventually I was like, okay, all right, I see your point. So I already had 50% of my strategies already, employed in my profile. And then Nameless throws out, his thoughts on it. And I'm like, okay, here's another strategy that I'm going to go ahead and just go full bore on. So, yeah, I don't think there was ever a stop. It just kept going from the beginning.
Nice. And I know you said with Nameless, and you do the stream with Nameless, Guidebook Gaming, every night since it's been, almost 5 months now that you've been doing it every single night?
Is it 5 or 6 now?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
been a
right.
really long time.
It has been a long time. So what made you actually get into streaming? Like, how did you get into streaming?
Oh, let me tell you, it was not anywhere on my radar. Like, I was perfectly happy hanging out with all the, people in Discord, and, we do our voice chats and whatever. I watched Guidebook Gaming as soon as I found out about it, and every night I was in there winning land giveaways and stuff. It was great. I started, I don't know, I thought initially I was just totally annoying Nameless, because I was throwing funny comments in there.
Wait. Initially, you still do.
You would think. I didn't change myself just because I went on the
Yeah,
show.
right. Hey, there you go.
Yeah, but it does come across slightly differently to him, I think. Now that he gets to interact with it rather than it just being text, because sometimes, I like to pop off with something creative that doesn't hit just right.
So, did you have experience streaming before Guidebook Gaming?
Zero.
Oh, wow.
Zero experience whatsoever. So at one point, I think it was Jonah and Stern, and like there was a few of us. I don't think Nameless was there at the time, but Jonah was like, "Hey, we're doing a panel interview on Guidebook Gaming, and why don't you come on the panel with us and whatnot?" I'm like, Jonah, I haven't cut my hair in 4 months. I haven't shaved in 4 months. Like, I don't think I've worn anything other than this T-shirt and these jeans for like a week now. It's just like, you don't want me on this show, all right?
Me caveman.
Yeah. So there was a little bit of discussion, and it took a while for all of them. They were just like, "Come on, just do it." I'm like, "Okay, if I do it, I'm going to wear a suit and I'm going to look better than you guys and whatever." So I spent the rest of that night, because the panel interview was going to be the very next day. Spent the rest of that night, I got my clippers out and I started cutting my hair, putting it. I didn't look great. I didn't look great, but it was a little bit better than I had looked before. And the panel interview was a hit. I think because I was trying to hide my big puffy bags under my eyes, because we had spent, we had gotten like 3 hours of sleep a night ever since Earth2 started, because we were just constantly either in Discord or buying tiles. It was, so I put these the virtual sunglasses from Zoom.
I actually heard that. I wasn't here back in the olden days. I didn't get here till February, but one of the things I heard was about TechOps and his sunglasses.
There he goes.
Nice.
Yeah, no, these were great, and I just it's been a whole experience, because I didn't know what I was going to look like on video, and I don't know if you guys have noticed, but my forehead is huge. It's huge on video.
Yeah, mine too.
I definitely adopted hats and headwear, and really after that panel interview though, I don't know if it was the very next day. It might have been right after the panel interview that night, but Nameless was like, "Hey man, I'm gonna need you to do the stream with me." From this point on, and there was a big story. It's like, when I do things, I do them the best. I want to be the best when I do them. And he's like, after having you on the stream that night, I realized that in order to be the best, I'm going to need you to be my co-host. So nice. I was like, you know what? It didn't go so bad, and I didn't hate it. So let's give it a try. I think it was on just a temporary basis at first, like, yeah, I'll come on again, and I'll play around and do whatever it is that I do. And yeah, at some point we put together an LLC. Guidebook Gaming is a company now. I mean, Nameless is literally just one of my best friends in the world at this point. And I've never met the guy. I've never shaken the guy's hand. He's just amazing.
I think we need to do something about that. No.
So speaking of meeting people, one of the co-hosts of the My Name is Human pod, Kangy, is not here right now because there's a power outage in Austin, Texas, and he was going to be here, but it just didn't work out. He actually met Earth2 Odyssey and Texas Drew the other day.
Yep, they have a picture floating around now.
Yeah, so they actually had a 2-hour breakfast, and Odyssey said it was amazing just geeking out about Earth 2 for 2 hours.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anybody that lives near me. I know Snoke used to live in Arizona, but all the people that are in Earth 2 that live in Arizona, I think I got them into the game. So,
well, my wife's going on a month trip to Colombia here in a month. Maybe I'll come swing by Arizona and say hi.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be great, man.
And we drive down to Arizona all the time, so.
Yeah.
Speaking of interesting topics, I'm sad that Kangy's not here to introduce this topic because he has some very verbose thoughts. But TechOps, is Earth2 a scam?
Oh my goodness. Let me tell you, it's been such a huge discussion, and it's happened several times where people have just, said, this thing is a scam. And every time.
I don't think at this scale, though. Like, boom, boom, boom. 3 big YouTubers are going after Earth2 hard.
Yeah, they did get a lot of views. I mean,
3. I only saw there was 2.
Yeah, there was a 3rd one today.
Oh,
there was. Ooh.
Eesh.
Huh. But I still don't think that it's anything new. We've been dealing with it from the very get-go, and every time it's just based on a complete lack of information, and sometimes even completely avoiding what they're seeing and showing on the screen. I remember months ago, some dude was totally dissing it, but then like contradicting himself with the screenshots that he was showing up there.
And I think that was kind of my, like, I understand having a contrary viewpoint. I understand having skepticism about a project like this. I'm still skeptical about it, even though I put significant money into it.
Yeah.
What I had a problem with is how they approached their skepticism. They used Matt Lorian's video from January.
Yeah.
And they used withdrawal system where we had to give all the information for the bank. They didn't know that Earth2's been doing credit card and debit card withdrawals for over a month now, that the transaction speed is speed up, and that they're actually working on a system for those that have problems with that withdrawal system, that they're going to have their own virtual credit card, so to speak. So to me, it was a little bit lazy that they didn't dig into it a little bit more. I mean, and there was other things, like they looked into like the marketplace and how a million people are selling their properties, and you can only sell properties to other people. Well, no shit. Who else are you going to sell it to?
Yep.
Yeah.
But for me, it was just a lack of research.
Yeah, no, I love your latest article on the website by that guy, Patrick Starr Jones.
Who is that dude?
Guy. Man, I was reading that and I was just like, wow, you were bent about this, but I mean, he was throwing down the goods. He was telling it just how it was. The guy, yeah, zero research. It's too easy to pick these things apart when they come out with them. So I don't know. Do you think there was a reason for the 3 of them to come out?
Yeah, I think After Earth paid them.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding.
I mean, that's actually a good, they are very popular YouTube people. So, if they get an advertisement or get paid to do this, I'm sure they would use that platform for that.
Yeah. So, I mean, and the one good point, I wouldn't say good point, but the one valid point they have is, what is Earth2 going to be about? Because right now, all it is buying and selling tiles. And while there has been talk by Shane and Wolfgang, and they didn't research that either, they didn't look into Wolfgang's background, they didn't look into Nathaniel's background. But I watched a little bit of the one guy's stream today, and he was talking about it. He's like, there's no way they're going to do this grand virtual reality vision in the next 5 years. And, I can understand the skepticism with that. I mean,
it's so new.
If Microsoft hasn't done it, if Facebook hasn't done it, what makes someone like Nathaniel and Wolfgang going to be capable of doing it? So I can understand that question. So what do you think about that, TechOps?
Well, I think Nathaniel and Wolfgang have enough credentials that, it it makes me feel a lot better, after looking into all of the team in Earth 2. Once you've done that level of research, you absolutely get a level of comfort, and then having Dylan Sal on the team as an advisor as well. I watched a bunch of his videos relating to the future of virtual reality in a post-COVID environment. And the points that he made were just huge, anywhere from business meetings to school to shopping. It seemed like, of course, that's absolutely the way things are going to go. And if he's involved in this project and he has that vision and knows that this is a platform that can do so much, I don't know, it solidified all the need I had for comfort about this program.
So you have no worries, but you're a member of the cult, so to speak.
I am a member of the cult. In fact, I've done all kinds of crazy stuff, and people have, let's see, like the first week I was in the game, I had wrote some post in SHP's Discord, just talking about a weird theory that I had, a 5-minute post that got made into an audio file by oh my goodness. Yeah, got made into an audio file and then a video, and it was amazing.
5D theory.
Yeah, the 5D theory. Yeah, just about how the spiritual community is looking for a certain thing, and then this Earth2 comes about, and I don't know. It should be interesting to see how this all plays out.
Yeah, and one of the things that also frustrated me with what they were talking about is, like, they were throwing it all, this one person is going to take all their money and run away. Like, this one person is Shane Isaac. What has he done? Like, the video that came out today that you guys didn't see, he was basically talking, he's only shown his past 7 years on his LinkedIn. So what has he been doing for the other 13 years? He's hiding it. Therefore, it's because he doesn't want people to know. And he didn't look into ID.xyz at all and see that it's a reputable social media platform. He didn't look into the rest of the team, see the Wolfgang Walk, see the Nathaniel, see the Dylan, he didn't look into some background research that some of our content creators have done, that Tony Mary is a silent partner. Do you think Tony Mary's going to do a 50% stake in a company that he thinks is a scam? Hell no.
Right.
And yeah, there's just too much that points to the fact that they've got enough into this. They believe in the project, and it's not going anywhere. It's the first, and a lot of times, there's two things that gets you to the top of the charts. There's being the first, and there's being the best. The first, between Coke and Pepsi, the only reason Coke has the market share is because they were the first.
Yep.
There are some other examples like Oreo and Hydrox, I think those cookies were called. Now, they were the first, but they had a generic sounding name. So Oreo came in, did the same idea, and just with the name became the best. So,
yeah, it's like MySpace and Facebook. MySpace was first, but Facebook did it better.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I miss MySpace.
I do too.
I like the music aspect of MySpace.
I like that. I like the actual, like, the, what are they called? Blog posts that you can actually post on.
Yeah.
I like that.
You know what I also miss? I also miss old Facebook before they started just wrecking it, just tearing it apart. So
one other point before we move on from this, the second YouTube video yesterday looked at the TOC pretty in depth and looked at the part where the boilerplate language, where basically he said that Earth2 could just pack up their bags and leave. And while that language could be interpreted that way, if you go do a Google search on that language, you'll see that about 10,000 websites use that identical language. And basically what it is it's protecting the website. It's not them saying, oh, we can just quit whenever we want. What it's saying is, we're not going to be held liable for anything that happens while you're on the website.
Right.
And I don't think they understood that when they just read them, they could just pack up and leave. That's not really what the language is saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and another thing is, I always tell people, they're like, well, how much should I invest? I was like, well, don't get a second mortgage to invest in it. Only invest what you can invest. Like what you can afford to lose if something does happen. Same thing as stocks. If you try to invest in stocks or something, you don't try to put everything you have into it. Just invest what you have, or that you can invest, and go on from there.
And like I wrote in my article, basically, I acted as the PR director of Earth2 yesterday, and I wrote an article about that. And I said, we just signed a huge deal with a customer service company. If we were going to be scamming you, would we do that? And like Shane said in Discord one day, he's like, if I was going to scam, I would have been gone a long time ago.
Yeah.
Right.
And why would you hire a team of 35 to 40 people to do? You could pull this scam off with 3 or 4 people. You don't need a team. You don't need to hire customer service agents. So I mean, when they didn't take all that into consideration, I think, and that to me makes their argument a little bit weak.
True. And one of the big things that I think about all of that is Shane's doing this in Australia. And Australia has a lot of laws, where you register the business and whatnot. Your home address gets put on a registry. There's no way somebody scamming you is going to be like giving out their home address. It's not like we don't have multiple Australian players over there.
Yeah, I mean, and if you're creative enough, you can find Shane Isaac on Facebook. No, I just put that out there, but I mean,
will he accept your friend request?
I did not try. I'm not gonna go that. I creep his Facebook, but that's as far as I'll go.
I make animations and stuff asking him to be my friend, so I mean, I have no problem with asking him for a friend on Facebook.
All right, so let's get into the good stuff further. I mean, I don't really think that's bad stuff. I just think we have some uneducated people jumping on a little bandwagon and riding that little hype train, so to speak.
Honestly, your thoughts about them being paid for it, everybody has a price. So
that is true, and
I don't think I don't think After Earth can afford it though. So maybe it's someone like B Park or something.
Well, you got to think about it. After Earth probably already has a couple $100,000 already into it.
Yeah, maybe they decided to just throw their. I don't know. That's a speculation. We don't want to go there.
Right.
So Shane had an announcement finally after 4 or 5 weeks of silence. So we finally got some news. And while no timelines were given, we did get some stuff that we can talk about. We got the SNCPLs, basically a whole lot of Shun. But what do you think of the wide-ranging announcements? We have SNCPLs, we have React, we have blockchain, we have resources, we have the Earth2 MasterCard. And what do you think of everything he said in those announcements, Tech? And how can we use that to be excited about the next month?
Okay, so I'm excited for more of an announcement for when phase 2 is actually going to get here. I mean, I love the fact that they put the resources onto the live site. But yeah, the Essence and EPLs, in my mind, that's when phase 2 actually starts, is when we start collecting Essence and we're able to get our own EPLs.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, that's when they said it would start, was when Essence and EPLs would be available.
Yeah, and until I can claim e2.io/sex, it's not phase 2.
Right.
So, okay, so SNCPLs, we all agree it's an important transition to phase 2. But let's talk about going from React. That's the current. Is the
current Riot and the new
the current Riot, and it's going to React. Yeah.
And the cool thing is with React. So I know I've talked to a lot of people. Even Nameless brought this up before about having a mobile app. And it even says on their website it's coming soon, and it's all confidential right now. But React, from what I'm understanding, it helps with mobile applications. And, like Facebook uses it, Instagram uses it. If I'm not mistaken, I think like even Netflix uses it. There's a few different credible websites that use it, so I think it's going to be a lot better for Earth 2.
So why do we think they didn't use that in the first place? Do you think that is a error problem?
It's weird because the way that they made it sound is like they were given it on this platform. Did they take this project over from someone else?
Error? I don't know. You've been here longer than me, so I'm
it
just
was
curious.
just something in their wording.
I'm just curious why they would use something that was obviously not working for them and then decide to transition. And I think one of the things we're getting from this is there's going to be a full website overhaul. Shane actually mentioned that, or Nathaniel actually mentioned it in one of his Discord discussions, that they're revamping the entire website, which, to be honest, it needs it. There's a lot of things that not only would make it more user friendly, but just more appealing for a user using the site. Because right now, while the marketplace is functional, it doesn't operate nearly as good as it could. You have to filter it. It doesn't, like, you have to go country by country. You can't do a search on the cheapest in the entire thing. You have to go, and if you're not using a third-party service, it takes a long time to go through that marketplace.
Yeah. Well, it took an even longer time prior to them adjusting it to how it is now, though. It used to just be like 2,000 pages, and there was no classifying anything or.
Yeah, my sort told us about that.
Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty good because we had some people that were doing some flipping, and if you put the effort into it back in the day, you could just make all kinds of money. One of the guys from the Turkey Gang, who is no longer, I think they're Earth2 best now, but one of those guys was flipping properties. I think he had put $300 in, had made himself $7,000 in like a few weeks, and just amazing stuff. And they cash out, get their money, and just every time I turn around, the strategy for this game changes, the way to make money changes, and it's always exciting.
Like for me right now, and we're not going to really get into a lot of strategy, but I'm just buying up Class 1 right now because it's getting more expensive. It's getting less discounted. So for me, when I see some cheap Class 1, I'm snagging it.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's definitely scarcity patterns in the game, like when you couldn't buy new Class 1. I tell you what, once it started getting low, we bought it all up quick. And I have a feeling that the marketplace might be the same. I know that having the ability to withdraw easily has prompted a lot of people to put a lot of stuff up for sale just because they want to get their initial investment back.
Yep.
But once those discounts are gone, they've got their investment. It's going to get pretty expensive for the Class 1.
Yeah, and I mean, there's only 100,000 per country, and there's only 250 countries, so it is the scarcity that people talk about when they're talking about virtual land. Like when we talked to Jawad Khan, he was questioning the scarcity, and Walker's talked about this before. He doesn't ever think we're going to get the classified tiles because of the price.
Yeah, that's a little difficult, especially after Meta did his video explaining exactly how much it was going to cost for those tiles.
Yeah, so your Class 1 tiles are going to be unique. I mean, even in the countries like Angola or Afghanistan or Liberia, I mean, even though they're not named countries, the fact that they're scarce in their own is going to make it. And one of the things that we're going to look at with this scarcity is how will this tie into blockchain. Shane confirmed something we all knew, that Earth2 is going to be going on blockchain. He didn't confirm that it was GoChain, which has been the rumor, and which I've discussed is potentially on ice, but it's also potentially not dead either. But he did confirm it's going to be blockchain. We just don't know with who. So we all know how important that is. I think we all agree that getting Earth2 on the blockchain is going to be beneficial for the game, beneficial for the people already on the game. So exactly, how do you think they're going to integrate this, TechOps, and how do you think it'll help us as players of the game?
Okay, so there's been a couple different theories going on about it, some of them relating directly to just the tile purchases and whatnot. But I'm kind of leaning more towards a lot of the assets and resources, or the creation of assets from resources being put onto the blockchain. What are your thoughts on that?
Snoke.
So, that's actually a possible solution. I know with resources, they did finally introduce that, even though that we knew about that from the test site. How they're going to, allocate the resources, it's unsure. But I'm thinking, personally, I think it has to be more with the tiles itself, is going to be on blockchain for the purchases of the tiles.
I think
they did set it all up so that each tile had its own block ID, like they were expecting to go blockchain the whole time.
All right, so my question with that though is how can it work on blockchain when you have the United States at $58 and a country like Armenia at 60 cents? I mean, how can you integrate such a difference onto the blockchain? It doesn't seem like it would work to me. I have a theory on how they're going to lay out the blockchain, but I'm curious because you think that's Snoke, how you think that's going to work.
To be honest, on the website it says, it's I don't remember the actual wording for it, but it states that the market is going to fluctuate like a real housing market. It said fluctuate. So I'm thinking that the market's going to go back down eventually sometime. I don't know when or if that's the case or not, but I think it'll still be on the rise for now, but I think it could fluctuate a little bit. So,
I would love if they did that. I don't think that's ever going to happen though. It's not how their pricing model works.
right.
Yeah, I almost think the only way that they could put the actual tiles on the blockchain is in NFT format.
Yeah,
and
if
they were NFTs,
they can't have 50. They can't have 50 billion NFTs. So we talked about that before.
They can't.
It would totally devalue them.
Oh, you don't think NFTs in general have devalued NFTs?
Yeah, of course. So here's my theory, and Kangy and I have talked about this in past shows, and I still think it's how they're going to do it. I think they're going to tie Essence to the blockchain because they've talked about Essence being used to build things, being used to upgrade properties, and how you can buy Essence directly from the site. So if you can buy Essence directly from the site, that is how you can use blockchain.
It kind of, makes sense just simply based upon Decentraland's mana.
Yeah, right.
If Essence is just basically a form of mana that we'll be using, then it's perfect.
So one of the ways that we'll be able to use Essence is to mine resources off of our property. So Snoke, tell me what you think about that and how that's going to work. What do you think about resources, the initial ones they have, and what Shane said in the announcement?
So with resources, this goes back to like the Easter egg hunts, how they have different Easter eggs shaped as different resources. So I think that with the resources that they have like fresh water, limestone, sand, iron, coal, gold. I can't remember all of them. So I'm hoping that it's like a per day basis that you can collect resources on your tiles. I know going back to one of the videos that they originally said that if people go to your land and they mine Essence also, or not Essence, but resources, you get a portion of that also. So I'm not sure how that part's going to play out. What do you think, TechOps?
Well, with part of my strategy that I've employed, I'm super hoping that that's exactly what happens. Because when you build a lot of infrastructure in one of the mega cities, all of a sudden you have a lot of tiles, but they're not really buildable tiles. They're roads. However, if you get a bunch of people within that infrastructure, then they're just going to be walking off their tiles right onto yours. No matter where your roads are at, there's going to be tons of people that should be collecting resources off of them.
That is true.
One of the interesting parts about the announcement was Shane saying they're going to test resources by releasing them in one country.
Yeah.
So that does two things to me. It's going to create a land rush to that country as soon as it comes out. So will it be a new country, or do you think it's going to be an existing country, Tech?
All I can do is I don't even have an opinion. I just hope that it's whatever country I have the most tiles in.
Yeah, I hope it's Armenia, but I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a new country. I think they're going to tie it to like Saudi Arabia.
I would hope they would do something like Saudi Arabia, where it's big enough where multiple people can buy and spread out. Because if they do a small island like Puerto Rico, I see that's still labeled as
Yeah, It's still international. for
International,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if they do something small like that, I don't know how it's going to work. But even with Saudi Arabia, I mean, it's desert really. So
I mean, they could do it in a country that costs $2 a tile and get a lot of tile sales.
that's something that
This is
I could
true.
see happening. Maybe like in like Canada, because there's a lot of different resources up in Canada. That's I think
Yeah.
Canada is like $7 a tile,
I
but
mean, and
people would still buy it.
right, people don't buy new tiles in those expensive countries right now for the most part, outside of
Huh.
South Korea. But if they said we're releasing resources in this country, it's going to cause new tile sales.
What if Shane's statement about the delay going to be benefiting landholders is the fact that they're going to be releasing it in a country, you know, where a lot of us already have a bunch of tiles and are
Yeah.
just sitting on them and holding on them.
That's possible too. And so
Like
here's
the
the
US.
thing. Here's the thing. If you have land in that tile, you can mark the crap out of that price up if you want to get rid of it.
Yeah.
So what I would probably do is if I had like 10 plots in the release country, I would probably mark up 5 and keep 5. So try to ride that little hype and sell. I know you two are holders, but I do sell some. So I would probably split it up a little half and half.
You
It
know,
would kill me if it was in a country that I just don't have any tiles in.
Oh yeah, for sure.
just don't let Shane know what country that is.
He has no way to find out.
All right, so we did get some more news on the Earth2 MasterCard. And we have seen that some people that have had failed transactions are getting offered the beta version of that. I know Kangy had a failed transaction, tried to get the beta version, and they said, not yet for you, sorry. So it's not going out to everyone that's had failed transactions. Maybe people that have had repeated failed transactions or haven't been able to get anything in like a month or two, the ones that have had significant problems. So obviously this is going to be a good thing in the long run. Are you going to get an E2 MasterCard, Snoke?
I definitely will, and I'd probably if they have them, just to say I have one first of all, but also to kind of see like what else. They said that there is perks along with it. So what are those perks, and what maybe can come down the road from those perks of having that?
Yeah,
card?
that's the thing I'm excited about is the perks, and
yeah,
like I don't need the card, but I'll get it just for the perks. So
exactly.
I mean, like we talked about this before, if I get rewards points for buying tiles, count me in, baby.
Yep.
I know TechOps, you'll be in on that, won't you?
Oh yeah. No, and I just want to make sure that you can extract cash. They said that I thought there was something in the announcement where the latest one said that you could even use it at an ATM.
Yep, that is what it
Once
says.
they have the physical cards. Right now, it's just it'll be a digital card.
The virtual card, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But even
Right.
then, I think you could still use the virtual cards. And like if you have like on your phones, you could do like Samsung Pay or Apple Pay or Google Pay, and you could add those virtual cards to your phones and still go, like if you go to the gas station or go to grocery shopping, you can use, because I use Samsung Pay all the time on my phone. So yeah.
Huh. As long as you can pay your rent with it, that's all it's needed.
Right.
So one other thing to get into the announcements before we get to the fun part of the show. Although this has been fun, let me take that back. So Shane did do some community shout outs, did talk about some charitable projects for the children based off of some of the NFTs. And, as someone who has had parents die from cancer, who has had been around less than underprivileged children, seeing stuff like this makes my heart warm. I love to see it. I hope we keep expanding on it. We keep growing it. So I know Guidebook Gaming does a lot of giveaways, but have you guys thought about doing a charitable component, Tech?
So there's some interesting rules on Twitch with doing charity stuff. Although we're absolutely not opposed to any of it. We like to stay well within terms of service, not only on Earth2, but Twitch, so that we don't get taken out. So
so they basically are kind of worried about scams and things of that nature.
Yeah, I think that's something how it works out.
Well, I mean, Earth 2 is a scam, so a charity scam would be fit right in.
Right? If we just had a
Yeah.
streaming platform through Earth 2 now, we could just make it all the way around the table.
That's going to happen someday.
Yeah.
We got to believe. We got to believe. All right, so let's get to our favorite new part of the show: 10 questions with TechOps.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
All right.
All right.
Stab 'em.
Question number one: who is a better singer, you or Randy Chavez?
Oh, me. Absolutely me. I mean, Randy sings more live, but
So sing us a quick line.
Ooh, on the
all
spot.
right, let's see.
On the spot.
On the spot. All right, let me think of which song here. You know what? You just made my mind go blank. So
Sing More Than a Feeling.
There you go.
Oh man, you know what? I'm no good on the spot, guys.
All right, fine. No, you get the next question.
All right. Well, think of a song while we're doing these as well, and then that way at the end you could do it. All right. What is the biggest mistake you have made on Earth 2?
Ooh. Wow.
Or have you made a mistake?
I don't feel like any of them are mistakes. They're just different strategies. And one way or another, however this game goes, there's a percentage of strategies that I'm sure are going to effectively, help me out throughout this game. So
no regrets at all with any purchase you've ever made?
No regrets, because we have no idea what's coming.
Yeah.
We have no idea if we're going to be able to move those tiles, if we're going to be able to, if they're just going to be generating tons of resources, and it doesn't matter that they're a road in South Korea by an airport that nobody else is bothering anything around.
I get that, but my first purchase was from 5-3 tiles in Canada, land purchases, not from the marketplace. So I regret that.
No, like even my first purchases, I'm not sad about the casinos that I bought. I'm not sad about buying jobbing.com arena. They're class 3 tiles, and I'd never buy class 3 tiles now, but
Yeah. Okay. So if there was a company that would come in to buy Earth 2, who would you want it to be and why?
Ooh, Tesla, because Elon.
Yeah, I would have to agree on that.
Yeah, I think he's he's got such vision for the things that are happening in the future, and he already sees a metaverse as a viable and necessary option for the future. So I think he could do a good job, but he's pretty busy with putting people in space.
All right.
And building electric cars. Yeah.
Yeah. So question number 4: what is your biggest fear in regards to Earth 2?
My biggest fear in regards to Earth 2 is that all of a sudden, and this may have already happened, I have so many Discord servers to keep up with, to visit, to talk to people, that I won't have the time. And that's currently, something that I'm being affected by, but I'm working on strategies to go ahead and get over that. And hopefully.
I had that problem at one point, but I've decided to just focus on like 5 servers and just narrow, and tell people if they want to get in touch with me, they can DM me. Yeah. But I just don't have the time to keep up with 20 Discord servers.
Yeah.
Right. It's even worse if you've created your own Discord server for something, or if you're one of the leaders of a guild, because you have some responsibility.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not. I mean, we do have a Discord server for the podcast, but it's not like a super busy Discord. We're just kind of getting rolling. But for me, it's
not like Alpha
I
Kingdom.
do get a lot of DMs about, hey, you write about this, or hey, you want to buy my land? No, I don't.
Oh, I love those DMs.
Yeah. So I look at every one of them, but they're always like, I'm like, you say it's a great price, but it's like 10% above land value.
Right.
I'm like, mark it down like $20, and I might consider it. So anyway, sorry, I digress. If you could have one property on all of Earth 2, what would it be and why?
the center of Central in Skopje, where the big statue Alexander the Great is. Nameless has wanted that centerpiece forever. He's put bids in it, and recently it sold for like $400, which was well over market value. I would want that one just so I could give it to Nameless.
Wow. So you would pick that over the Vatican, over the Statue of Liberty, over Mount
I don't need any of that. I need Nameless to have the center of Skopje.
That is such a kind gesture. I like it.
Yeah. That is awesome. So this next question is kind of like a
multiple choice.
Yeah. So you have Shane, Nathaniel, and Wolfgang. Who would you shag? Who would you marry? And who would you push off a cliff?
You have to answer.
All right. Well, I'm going to have to go because Nathaniel was the very first developer that ever answered one of my DMs. I'm going to shag him. I'm going to marry Shane, and unfortunately, guess who gets pushed off the cliff?
Sorry, Wolfgang, you got to go. All right. I'm going to follow that up with the next multiple choice one. And this one was brought to you by Oliver Jones Music.
Oh, no. All right. No, this is not good.
So, again, you had 3 people to choose from. Oliver Jones Music, Nameless, and Outsanity. You can forget one, you can marry one, and you can become one.
Oh, well, I mean, obviously, I'd want to become Oliver Jones Music.
Of course.
There's no other answer to that. Man.
You know you're going to marry Nameless. Come on.
It's close, though. Outsanity's pretty cute, though. It's got to be a toss-up. But yeah. If there was no, best support in Earth 1, Queen Nameless, I'd have to marry Nameless.
So
we already have the bickering thing down pat.
Oh yes, especially on Guidebook Gaming stream every night. And the funny thing is, you haven't even seen them face to face in real life.
Right, yeah. I have this feeling that when I meet him, I'm going to be like, "Wow, you're a lot taller than I thought you were."
It's funny because Hazy talked about the picture with Kangy and Earth2 Odyssey and Texas Drew. They're a lot taller. Like Kangy is a lot taller than I thought he was, and I was like, "Oh wow." But all right. So next question is, where do you see Earth2 5 years from now?
Well, I'm gonna have to go back to some of my original thoughts on Earth2. In 5 years now, I feel like kids will be going to school, meetings will be held, shopping. If you want a pizza, you're gonna throw on your VR headset, go over to the virtual pizza shop, order it, and it'll be delivered to your house. You're gonna be able to go into a store, and it supports my whole stay inside and not go out and interact with the public type situations that I've been in for quite a while. But just to have those things available and to get the things that you need, this is the platform for it. It really has endless possibilities for fun, for gameplay, for shopping, for making money, for starting businesses.
Snoke, take the next one too, because I have to ask the last one.
Okay.
And it ties in well to what he just said.
So
number 9.
Yes. Yeah. So why do you think the Earth2 team is capable of pulling off the Ready Player One vision when no one to date has been able to?
I don't think anyone has tried. I think Ready Player One is a fairly new, phenomenon. We were just excited to watch the movie for at least a year. So as those ideas start to churn in everyone's mind, and the thought of having a metaverse and just the brilliance of doing a 1-to-1 scale metaverse of the Earth. I think they can pull it off, because somebody that can pull up that kind of vision and then put together a team that is able to, execute on that. I got a lot of faith in them.
All right, this is the most important question of the night, and you can only say yes. Will you sell me your Vegas casino for $5,000?
Yes.
Sweet, I'm gonna buy it from you then.
Yeah. All right.
You have it listed for like 10 or 15, if I remember right.
My biggest casino?
No, your Vegas casino.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, I've been eyeing that one.
Have you?
I have. You
brother,
know, I own Caesars.
Look, as long as it's not
No,
less
you would
than
bring
what I paid for it.
No, it's exactly what you paid for it.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll give you $1. I'll give you 5,001.
You give me $1. Let me look at it, Hazy. Let me look at it, but you never know.
All right.
All right.
I'm just trying to take over Vegas one casino at a time.
Well, it's a good plan. I wish you
although
luck.
I can't afford Bellagio. It's $300K. There's no way I'm ever going to get that. Maybe in 2030 when I have built my casino empire.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
wondering if that's one of those Rolo properties I picked up when Rolo was selling all his.
I don't know.
stuff
I
off.
think it's not the. I'm trying to remember which one it is. I don't remember, but it's on. You have it listed for sale.
Huh.
Because I've looked at it a few times. Anyway, I
He
digress.
probably forgot about it.
We'll talk, sir. We will definitely talk.
He probably.
Let me ask you
did.
this, TechOps. Do you actually check your notifications?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. I make sure that my notifications, because there's been times where stuff has come in. I'm like, whoa, that's market price. Okay, yeah, I'll sell you that.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. One last thing before I wrap things up. My dog's gonna attack me. We do have a giveaway going on. This is probably the last. No, we will have one more pod before the end of it, but I will link the giveaway article in the show notes. Commenting on this video will be a way to enter. So please do check that out. The giveaway's about to end. It's like over $1,000 worth of prizes. So make sure you get an entry or two in. It's free stuff. People like free stuff. So it's our second most viewed article behind Odyssey's Letter to Shane, which was an amazing article.
Yes.
So TechOps, I thank you so much for coming on the show. Anything you want to add or promote before we say goodbye?
It's TechOps
Hey,
Animations.
Yeah. Unfortunately, again, not going to be one this week. Been busy moving the house, but the animations, they'll be coming back. Go ahead and check us out on Guidebook Gaming. In exactly, well, I don't know when you're going to publish this, so it's 30 minutes for me. I'm about to run over there and have some fun with Nameless.
All right. And Snoke, anything for you before we wrap up?
Just make sure you hit like, share, and comment below.
And subscribe.
And subscribe. And notification.
And follow us on Instagram, TikTok, where Snoke's going to get a clip from this up sometime today or tomorrow. Probably tomorrow because he has to edit this video. Where else are we? We have a Facebook page. We're pretty much everywhere. So make sure you give us a like or follow or subscribe. We would appreciate it. This has been the My Name is Human Earth2.io podcast brought to you by MyNameIsHumanPod.com. Hazy out.
Snoke out.
TechOps out.
Get up off your knees, girl.